Hello, boys and girls. Got another video for you fine folks on the internet. Another installment in the Matthew Buckley Talks music series. Taking a look at a third album by Elliott Smith, rounding out our trilogy here with his debut solo album, Roman Candle. Released in July of 1994 on Cavity Search Records on CD and cassette, and first reissued in 1998 by Domino Records for UK markets on CD and vinyl, and then again reissued by Domino Records for domestic US markets on CD. And then again, 7 years later, by Kill Rock Stars in collaboration with Domino Records for CD and vinyl reissue. And again, 6 years later, by Kill Rock Stars for a gold vinyl reissue. And UMG International handling European CD reissue that same year. And in 2017, it was issued on a standard black vinyl by Universal Music for European markets. And there was actually a clear vinyl reissue by Kill Rock Stars last year in 2020. This is the 2016 era reissue, because aside from the gold vinyl, they did a standard black vinyl that year as well. But a little background. Again, since I previously discussed Elliott Smith in my review of an introduction to Elliott Smith, I will forego the long-form biography, but give a little background on this album. Again, like I said, released in the summer of 1994. The Roman Candle album was Smith's first full-length solo studio album, recorded and released while his band Heat Miser was still active. And interestingly enough, two of his bandmates from Heat Miser are actually featured on the cover of his solo album, which is interesting. But the album is a benchmark of lo-fi, do-it-yourself production, having been mostly recorded in Smith's then-girlfriend's basement. And this girlfriend happened to be Heat Miser's manager, so she managed his band. And when his girlfriend presented the recordings to Cavity Search record executives, they requested permission to release it as a full album project, which, after some surprise, Smith agreed to. So, onto the contents of the album itself. Side 1 begins with the title track, which has been chiefly interpreted as detailing Smith's feelings towards his stepfather. Smith likens himself to an explosive and unpredictable Roman candle, and sings about how he wants to hurt him, wants to give him pain. It's dark and powerful. The next track, Condor Avenue, is one of Smith's more interesting narrative songs. A presumably mostly fictional anecdote about a woman who storms off in her car after an argument with her boyfriend, and in her inebriated state falls asleep at the wheel and inadvertently kills herself and a hobo on the street. It's heavy stuff. Smith repeatedly has the narrator refer to the girl as a whisper at the end of each verse. There's so much tragedy in the song, and it's taken up to a climax with the final lyrics of, "What a shitty thing to say. Did you really mean it? You never said a word to me about what passed between us. So now I'm leaving you alone. You can do whatever the hell you want to." Wow. The following track is the first of 4 songs on the album, simply titled No Name. One of the highlights of the album for me, honestly. It has a lovely riff that locks itself in your brain and ambles along at a leisurely pace. Thematically, the song details a situation many young people can relate to: being at a party, feeling out of place, kind of wanting to leave because you know you feel alone in the crowd. I've been there way more times than I'd like to admit. I love the song. I'm gonna go for a little sip of tea here for the working man, hoping this tea's cooled down enough. Sort of. The next track is No Name Number 2, and it's another gorgeous acoustic song, complete with another catchy guitar riff and even harmonica. The song is vague enough, and it's open to various interpretations. The quiet terror news that Smith sings about could be interpreted as news of pregnancy and or news of his lover leaving him. And the character, the singer pretends not to care or give a hoot, as Elliott sings. Says, do what you have to do. I love the lyric, her name was just a broken sound, a stutter step you hear when you're falling down. And the chorus of killing time won't stop this crying. This touches on stuff we all feel at some point in the solitude of night when we're faced with only ourselves. And the next track, No Name Number 3, is another gentle acoustic song, arguably one of Smith's sweetest and least depressing. The lyrics are vague, but seem to just be about a couple enjoying their time together and being at peace. For a man whose work can be so bleak and heartbreaking, to hear something so genuinely sweet is a pleasure. And that's how we end side 1. We'll get another sip of tea here for the working man. Good stuff. A little ginger peach tea for those who might be keeping score. Anyway, side 2 opens with Drive All Over Town, which, if you ask me, is another fairly straightforward narrative from Smith, a story of a man who will drive all over town looking for his woman. The first verse paints a vivid portrait of a set of dirty, stepped-on photo booth pictures of the characters in the song. It's brief and simple, but captivating. The following track is the 4th of the No Name tracks, a narrative of a mother and child escaping and then returning to an abusive living situation, the mother asking the child to just forget about it. It's a tragic tale told through sweet acoustic sounds. And the next track is Last Call, which I spoke about in my review of an introduction to Elliott Smith. But I will again say that just as on that compilation, on this album the song stands out as something of an outlier, featuring electric guitar and wailing vocals. Truly a downer of a song, switching perspectives from first, second, and third person, riddled with lyrics of self-loathing and an ultimate wish to never be awoken after being overtaken by sleep. Oof. It's depressing. And the next track is an instrumental titled Kiwi Mad Dog 2020. Titled after a bottle of alcohol that Smith and a housemate of his shared one evening in 1993. The song ambles along in a dreamy haze. The guitar itself almost sounds stoned. It's one of my favorite tracks on the album, in spite of being instrumental. And that is how we end side 2. So, final thoughts, it's a very strong debut solo record, full of vivid songwriting and a consistent mood that pervades the album. Mostly acoustic, Recorded and performed entirely by Smith with a 4-track setup, this album would go on to function like a roadmap for a generation of do-it-yourself musicians and producers, setting a standard and for making more by working with less. The songs themselves not only sound intimately recorded and produced, but their themes are intimate, personal, raw, and honest. Whether it be anecdotes of crumbling relationships, misanthropic drug abusers, or meandering instrumentals, the feelings that Smith puts out in the airwaves can't be missed. So let me get y'all a closer look here, out of the sleeve, less glare on the cover there. Smith said he wanted this portrait of his couple of his bandmates on here because he just liked how it looked as a piece of art. I believe in an interview he said that. Here's the back cover, nothing, too distinct. Comes with an insert that's got the lyrics, but of course they're relatively small to begin with, and they're not exactly in regular print. They're, it's made to look like Smith's handwriting. And the record itself has basically the, design from the back cover on the label. Nothing too crazy. So yeah, it's very solid issue of a very solid album. And, this set the template for what Smith was gonna do for the rest of his career. A very strong start to his work outside of his already established band. I don't hesitate to give this album an 8 out of 10. It's just got some of my personal favorite Elliott Smith songs, like No Name number 1, No Name number 2, No Name number 3, No Name number 4. Those are all highlights of the album for me. And the Kiwi Mad Dog 2020. That's a very fun, hazy, stoned out instrumental. So yeah, 8 out of 10 in my opinion. Let me know below in the comments. Have you heard Roman Candle? And I would ask if you're familiar with Elliott Smith, but he's been the subject of two of my previous videos, so if you've been watching my videos, you should be at least vaguely familiar with him. But let me know below what you've heard or what you think about Elliott Smith. He's a very captivating singer-songwriter and one of my favorites. So thanks for listening, watching. I appreciate any and all viewership. Keep tuning in, because I'll, keep blabbing about music, and every now and again I'll play a little myself. So, again, this has been Matthew Buckley Talks Music with Roman Candle by Elliott Smith. Music is the best.